Hello, hello, hello. It's a brand new day, and this is our morning connection. How are you doing this morning? I'm Skip LaCour. I'm so glad you are here today, joining all of us driven, ambitious men, maybe a little bit older, if you're like me, going through this stage of life, joining us for our daily ritual, our daily connection, our habit, right? Our discipline of getting together every single day at a designated time. I love it when you join me live at 3 a.m. Pacific time, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook. You're saying good morning. We're getting this habit of greeting each other, right? Our connection, our bond, every single day. I love it when you join me live on YouTube or on Facebook. Say hello, say good morning. That's what I look forward to, connecting with you. I hope you're looking forward to this every single day. We're getting our minds right to start the day, right? Hopefully today, maybe there's something that I share with you that is just what you need at this moment, maybe something that you're going through. Maybe I plant a seed. Maybe it's something, hey, that sounds like some good information. Of course, I've needed that in the past. Maybe it doesn't apply to me right now. And then maybe next week, next month, it's something, hey, yeah, I remember Skip talking about this, right? I'm prepared for this. And whatever challenge, whatever situation that we're talking about, could be a good time. You take more advantage of it. It may be a challenge that you have the perspective to work yourself through. Whatever it is, I'm glad you're joining me for this mental toughness conditioning. That's what I call it. I'm so glad you're here. Make sure that you say hello. In a moment, I'm going to say hello to you. I'm going to say good morning to you for joining me live with our daily habit, our daily connection. In this connection, this video, I want to talk about how to get through bad times. How to get through bad times. You know, a lot of guys compliment me, man, you have so much energy at this age of 56, almost 57 years old. You come to us on a continual basis every single day on these morning connection. You are getting up very early in the morning. Workouts for older men live, all your videos. How do you do it? Are you always happy, right? And just like you, I go through bad times. I really believe that the bad times, first of all, it's all a state of mind. It's all relative what a bad time is, right? It's the price of admission when you want the better things in life. You're going to go through times that you can't handle, right? If you think you're just going to think your way through or plan your way through all the ups and downs and all the challenges, there's a price tag to pay for everything you want in life. If you think you're going to get there just by planning it, thinking out, reading books, watching videos, and then you're going to just be put in that situation, some challenge, some obstacle, and then you're just going to just handle it because you went through a thought process. You probably know by now that's not how it works. You got to put in your practice, and a lot of times you're going to not do very well before you do well. That's all part of it. Hard times are relative, as you know, and hard times are again something that we all go through. And so during this video, I want to talk about some things that I think about. I talk to a lot of men going through the journey through my coaching, getting them closer to their goals, getting them accountable. I deal with a lot of hard times with them myself, and that objectivity and perspective, that we may have more options. There's a different way of looking at the challenge that you're going through. And that imagination, that perspective can be everything in the world while you're going through that. And I want to talk about some things that I think about and I share with the men who I coach. I want to share those with you when you want to know how to get through bad times. All right, so let me acknowledge you for being here, right? Hopefully this isn't a bad time for you. If it is, I tend to think when you're in this mode to watch this type of personal development for older men, this mental toughness conditioning, you're probably doing pretty well, or you're just kind of in the middle. Right? Sometimes it's hard to listen to all this positive talk when you're not going through the best of times, even though maybe that's what you should do. It makes it hurt even more sometimes. I realize that. All right? So maybe this is the best time where you're not necessarily feeling those challenges. So who do we have joining us here today on our exercise? All right. Kevin, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for being here on Facebook. Mohammed, good to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. Brad, bad times build the great times. That is true with the right mindset and taking action. I will talk about that too. But I certainly believe That's like our exercise. It's the heavy weight. We want to have those muscles. If we want to be strong, we want to perform well in the gym at the highest level. We gotta have the resistance, and we gotta learn how to deal with that resistance, and that's what bad times are. Good way to look at it. And hello, Michael. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. So let's talk about how to get through the bad times. I have some things that I think about, and like I said, I share with the men who I coach. Bad times are an inevitable part of life. Hopefully you're not going through those now. Hopefully, if you are, these little things to think about, big things to think about, are going to help you. One is what I get myself to do is realize that the times that I'm going through, these bad times, these tough times, these challenging times, that I'm not the first one to go through them. And the human spirit is much stronger than we think sometimes before we get through the tough times, before we actually face them, or when we're in the middle. And sometimes we don't really realize, we as human beings, how strong we are because we haven't been tested yet. If you really think about your challenges, it probably isn't a challenge that you're going through, you've gone through, you're going to go through, that a lot of people haven't gone through. Maybe a lot of people you respect, a lot of people around you. We see a lot of times on social media, you can't help it. They're posting the hard times, the bad times, the challenging times that they're going through. And sometimes we distance ourselves from that because that's them and not us. But if they can get through it, so can you. There isn't a challenge that you've gone through, or you're going to go through, or you're going through now, that someone else hasn't made it through successfully, and so can you. Got to remember that. One thing that I do is there is a audio book from a very famous book, The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. I have the audio version, and about the last 35 minutes of chapter 4, it's a 4-chapter audio book, is all about how to get through obstacles, challenges. Our life to get to the next level is just getting through obstacles. If we are trying to get to a level, we just don't know how to do it, there's obstacles in the way. And big, small, somewhere in between, it's just getting over obstacles, right? You know that, right? And there's something for me that's very powerful about that 35 minutes in this audio book, The Power of Positive Thinking. It's just the way he breaks it down. Like every challenge, like every which way goes on how to look at it. I talk about it all the time with my one-on-one coaching. I am skilled, I am trained to help you look at your challenges from different angles. All right, some angles and perspective that you can't see sometimes when you're going through those challenging times. And just does a masterful job of breaking it down, 42 different ways. When you're done listening to that 35 minutes, I know when I do, I think, I can do this. I can do this. Right, and so I've listened to that 35 minutes on chapter 4 of The Power of Positive Thinking. I probably listened to that 300 times because just like you, I'm always pushing myself, and so there's always going to be challenges, right? And you got to remember that, all right? Another thing that I always do is remember that you've been probably through these same challenges that you're going through now, if you're going through those challenges before. Maybe a different version. Maybe it doesn't seem like the intensity of the challenge that you had in the past are the same that you're going through because you're going through it now. But the chances are great you've gone through and made it to the other side successfully, and with the growth and the life lessons of the challenge that you're going through before in life. Just a different version of it. I know it doesn't feel the same. Once we get through it, we think, hey, no big deal. And it's in our distance memory. The pain of that challenge, the hard times is gone. But just remember that. Have you gone through the same thing, just in a version, different version before in life? Like, it brings me a lot of strength, to know that, wait a second, I've done this before. What's different about this than before? And sometimes when I think about it, it's no different. Maybe just a higher level. It's a different time at a different place involving different people. Maybe there's more online, but it's the same challenge wrapped up in one that I've already successfully handled. And I'm sure that's the case for you too. One thing that I always remember is if you want to play the big dogs, you want to be that man you're set out to be when you were younger. Actually make it happen. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have big boy challenges. If you want to get to a certain level and you want to be one of the big boys, you said you always wanted to be that way. All right? you're going to have to learn how to deal with the big boy challenges. And every time you step into them, you get stronger and stronger and stronger. Again, it's just like lifting weights, right? And I realize if there's a price of admission to get to that other side, to be that man you really want to be, to handle all the things, to achieve those goals, to experience all those feelings, it's just like work. It's just like exercise. There's a price to pay, and now you're paying that price. And you know what? If you want that other side, this is the price that you have to pay. Handling stress. What I realized is the more stress I can take on, the more stress that I go through. Bad times, handling it, just feeling it. Doesn't feel good at first, right? But I've noticed, maybe the stress, the angst of the challenge that you're going through might last 3 days, 4 days, hopefully not so much longer. But you build up this resistance. The mind is always looking for ways to cope, handle, to spin that situation, to look at it from different perspectives. And that's what happens over time. You get stronger mentally and emotionally, and you will too. So remember, those hard times, it's making you stronger, and you will. That first day, that second day, that third day, that fourth day, if you believe it, and you're looking for that strength that you're building up. Right? Every hard time that you're going through, it does. All those bad times, it builds more strength. Before you know it, these bad times are nothing. And then you get to handle a higher level of bad times. Imagination. And I know when you're in tough times, it's tough to see the positive parts of it, right? But if you can just keep that imagination open, like what it's going to be past the challenge, right? Again, you've gone through a different version of this challenge before, maybe not as intense, maybe you don't even remember it. You've seen other people go through it before. You will get through it. You will get stronger, you will get through it. If you can just imagine what that life is going to be, what's going to feel like, the lessons that you learn, how you're going to take that to go further. Open up that imagination as much as you can during the hard times. Think past the cell, so to speak. Think past getting through, well past, and that stronger person you are. If you can keep that open, that's going to really help you. How about not just thinking your way through it, taking a list of all the things that you can do to gain that control. Sometimes you don't even have to get to achieve the goal, get past or change your situation. If in the moment you can just feel in control, you can do something. Make a list of all the things that you can do. Maybe exercise, maybe make sure you eat right. Maybe it's get more sleep. There's so many things that you can do. Make a list of it. You're going through these bad times. May seem a little hokey. What am I writing down? All these things. Take the time to do it. Just the thought process and reviewing it. Just getting your mind distracted on the list of things that you can do to get through these bad times. I mean, this is what I do. I do this first thing in the morning all the time to think what is going to get to the next level, identifying the things that I can do to get me through any bad times, any challenges, any tough times. Right? It could really help it. Write it down. Don't take the time and write it down. I don't know, put it on your phone, on a notepad, whatever it is, and keep it so you can refer to it over and over again, so you don't have to be all creative during the bad times and being imaginative again. You can take your notes from the last time you thought through it, right? Keep it through as long as the hard times last. Review it. Getting your mind to focus on what you can do, take control. It's the most important thing. Feeling in control sometimes is even just as powerful, maybe more powerful than actually getting through the bad times, is that sense of control. Creating a list of all those things that you can do, reviewing it often, convincing yourself, selling yourself, persuading yourself to get through the hard times, and reviewing, again, that list often. Then more importantly, you got to get to work. You can't just sit around, right? You got to take that swing at the bat. You got to just say, whatever it is, I'm not going down this way. This may last forever. I don't know what will happen, but I'm going to go down with the fight. Take action now. Take consistent action. Take action even when you don't feel like it. Sometimes that's the toughest part, right? But all of these strategies that I'm telling you, stacked on each other, right, will make it easier, just a little bit easier. And once you start going, all right, feeling in control with those actions, but it's really important to take action during those bad times from all these things that we talked about. Again, remember, that's the price of admission. Taking on stress, you're not going to think your way through it. You got to actually go through it. Bad times are stressful. They're challenging. I know it. But you're building that muscle. It's the price of admission to get to the other side. All right, so hopefully just these things, I go through them too. Yes, I do go through them. It's just that perspective, right? It's just like working out in the gym. Maybe these things over and over again as you're going through the hard times soon. These hard times, these challenging times, these bad times, they will be nothing. They'll be in your rearview mirror, and you'll have that strength, that reference of getting through them. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for our morning connection today, right? A lot of times I'm just so positive, right, and everything like that. I want to think that I'm looking at these even bad times from a positive experience, but trust me, I know that life isn't always easy, and hopefully what we talk about, just getting these things to think about, will help you. Remember, when we're a little bit older, right, we've probably been through a lot of challenging times, a lot of bad times. But we get stronger to handle them. Remember, let's take on this day with a sense of urgency, right? We've got more time behind us than in front of us at this stage. We've got to make it happen, right? So work out, eat, take care of your body, right? Get some extra sleep if that's what you need, all right? Do that with a sense of urgency. Even rest more with a sense of urgency. Love, connect with the people who are important to you. Produce your legacy, your connection with others, your contribution to this world. Let's do it with a sense of urgency today. And remember, getting through anything in life, any bad times, accomplishing any of your toughest goals, it's just a matter of figuring out the patterns. Some patterns are more complex than others. Have you seen men like me get through the pattern and achieve that goal? You can too. You can crack the code. You can figure out the pattern. It's just a matter of time. Always remember that. Sometimes I always remember, no matter how challenging, how complicated the pattern is, you can figure it out. I can figure it out if we just stay at it. All right? Expect the best from yourself. Expect the best from your efforts. Expect the best from other people. They'll get you. How can they not? You are a force to be reckoned with. Have a great day.